What up, y'all? This is your boy Gerald. It is the 10th of July. You are on the backside of your weekend. How is everybody doing? Yes, we are on the backside of this weekend, and you are in preparation of a new week, a new chapter, a new revelation. Because, see, it's your story, right? Yes, I know, I know. It's kind of hard to look over your shoulder and not get caught up on the past events, but I'm going to tell you what, y'all. No matter how bleak it becomes, it's meant for you to indirectly take the wisdom from it. That's right, y'all. There are going to be some paths that are going to be laid there just by carte blanche for you to walk on, only to set you up to fail. But see, the moment that you decide to stop playing, start claiming, get back to you, can you understand why you there to begin with? Who am I talking to? Because see, your life matters, y'all. And see, there is no shortcuts when it comes to doing work, because that's why you here. You think you just was birthed on this planet because you were a mistake? I beg to differ. But see, I understand though, because see, there may have been a presence of lack. There may have been a presence of not nurturing. There might be in a position where it just seemed like it was calamity in the forms of physical abuse. How about those emotional scars? I know I'm talking to someone. Let me go ahead and ship that prayer down there, because I'm gonna let you know something. See, that should be validation for somebody right now to let you know how valuable your life really is. Because see, the devil already knew your story. You do understand that the moment that God breathed the breath of life, your legacy was written. Your story of your life was written. It's no different than looking at the bottom of this time lapse right now as you hear my voice. And that's exactly how your life is playing out. But guess what? If you don't have a relationship with God first, the navigation's not going to be there. So you're going to be going to and fro. You're not going to end up where you should be, because there's going to always be that doorway called delay. And that's not your story. But see, let's go back to that line in the brush. See, a lot of times we don't take accountability for the seeds that we plant, but we feel every kernel, every grain, because see that validation that's found in that soul, that cultivation, yes, that's called time. And how soon and how quick do we forget on the actions that have taken place, only to see them harvest in the intended time. That's why everything comes full circle. I know I'm talking to somebody, but I'm here to let you know something though. That is not the end all be all unless you choose it to be. So I want you to pump your brakes. I want you to take stock, look at your environment, allow that inventory called you, inside you, the real you. Because let me tell you something. See, they can't claim who you are unless you step out into the world. But guess what? The reality, as you know, is found within inside you. Because we are what we attract. So if you're in a place where there's some uncertainty there, I would like to show the commonality of the circle that you keep. If there's no inner peace there, if you don't feel whole there, I ask you this: why are you there? Why? Because I guarantee you, if you allow yourself to be vulnerable, that means that's what being real is all about. Because see, it doesn't matter who you are outside your door. The person that matters most is found inside, and that's the person that you see when you look in that mirror. That's why I echo it so much, because I'm trying to get to that person, not the person that you morph into, not the person that you transform into, to convince them that that is you, because we all know that that ain't you. That is nothing but an imitation of self. But see, you are priceless. But see, if your audience, the company that you keep, does not validate that through the same actions that they take, guess what? That's not the audience you're supposed to be with. That's not the environment you should have been with to begin with. So now you've got to look at what is lack. What is the commonality that keeps you gravitated around this person's presence, like a satellite to a planet? You just everything they say or do, that's where you are. You fixed position. But ask yourself this: what's the trade-off on that? Is it self-discovery or is it delay? Because I'm gonna tell you what, y'all. I ain't gotta remind you. There are thousands and thousands of Rihannas and Beyoncés, but there are only one you. But here's the ironic part of it. I think this needs to go out to somebody because this is your song. I'm talking to your heart. But what you need to do is take the words and apply it to yourself. You will never, never, never know me. See, that's what your spirit is saying. That's what that little boy and little girl inside you has been echoing every time that you have to wipe the blood stains off your body. Every time that you got to pick your face up because you willfully made a choice to defile yourself. How about the moment that you decided to convince yourself that you don't matter and you were just floating in a sea with no direction? I'm here to tell you it's time for you to come on back to you. But see, I understand that because see, we live in a reality that there is no promotion of self-worth, but there's a whole lot of promotion of lack now, ain't it? If it's like, well, instead of me celebrating your uniqueness and learning something about you, how about putting you in a position that you empower yourself, not being able? Oh no, you got to search wide and high for that now, don't you? You know why? Because see, these are the tools that the opportunist uses every day. That's right. Yes, they do. They have a declaration within themselves that they use mind, body, and spirit, but not as it should be. Oh yes, they use the tricks of the trade to convince you not to fall back in love with yourself, not for you to see your worth, not to see the fact that you may be on the cusp of a breakthrough long overdue. Why? Because misery loves company. And guess what? How you gonna call yourself strong when you can't stand on your own feet? I know I'm talking to someone. hmm But if you let them tell your story, they're gonna leave you broken, disheveled, and by yourself, unaccountable, and that is not your story. See, kings, listen, it ain't no secret. You have let down yourself. Yes, you have. You have people that are defending or are depending on the platform that you have. You do understand that, right? What you stand for, not the actions that are just misguided. But see, I keep trying to echo this to each and every one of y'all. A life that is not invested is impulsive. And there are people that are banking that you stay that way because, see, guess what? If you can't govern your steps, you're not going to govern your money. So convince me once again that you can't turn your life around. Convince me that. You think that because you made a choice, you paid a price, and you stepped out of what we know as society for a period of time, and now that you're coming back and life as you know it has evolved, or you feel that you've been left behind. But see, what has not changed is the same things that got you put behind those bars, and they're willing, will open arms to take you back, to threaten your mortality, You know why they do that? Because see, they don't want you to see the greatness that you were given as your birthright. They don't. No. Mm-mm. That's why I keep saying be careful for the company that you keep because let's call a spade a spade. It's all spiritual. It is. That's why you hear people say with the cliche, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. Why? That ain't nothing but metaphorically saying that you're speaking things into manifestation. So you are dealing with the spiritual realm now, aren't we? So you're dealing with principalities and things you may not be aware of. Because you got to understand, demons got to stay employed, y'all. They got to. hmm That's their job to destroy your life. How about to rob you of your dreams? How about distract you of the things you really, really need? How about to give up on yourself? That's what demons do. They got to do that because, see, if they don't do their part, guess what? They go swimming in that lake of fire and they rather sacrifice you than sacrifice themselves. And because they messed up their lives, that's where they are. So they love it when you don't know who you are. They even revel in the fact that when you don't have a relationship, but they get off the fact when there is someone because of a setback, maybe of a deep wound, and you willfully denounce the Most High. They love that because that's when they do their best work. And we've got to not exclude the Jezebel spirit. Yes, that Jezebel. She is a good whore. hmm Oh yes, she works with. She loves that lust. hmm She's the main environmental influence that you see every little girl out on social media making that ass clap, going behind closed doors and putting up a $20 camera just to make a quick buck. Oh yes, Kings. I'm gonna tell you, if you have a daughter, you better step out of your comfort zone and be a father. You better be in her business because if you don't, what you lack the street are going to make sure that you pay for later on. Oh, trust and believe. Mm-hmm. But I also understand this. I understand that there are some people that you got a wound that it doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth. It doesn't matter what you felt, what you've seen. That wound lives and breathes inside you. And until you have the courage to purge that out, it is going to continue to rob you of your life, your essence. That's why every time that you put forth effort to get back up and you not get knocked back down, because that's that wound. See, there is a benefit in disappointment, y'all, if you're willing to see it. The benefit is to show you literally what you need compared to what was a want. What is a direction compared to a distraction? And you got to also look at it this way too. You know that guy we know as the devil. He was God's number one angel before his pride and ego got him cast out. But one thing was known for for certain was this: he was the most beautiful of all the archangels. So guess what? If you have a wandering eye, if you have what we know as that term thirst, and when you're around people and you just want to get it in, that's him. That's him pulling the strings because he's just waiting to put the right bait, make the right environment for your fall. Come on, think about it. Look at the commonalities, y'all. You may think to yourself, well, Gerald, you always it seems like you always uh, are kind of hard on us women because guess what? Number one, you're not a man. You are fragile and you're God's gift to mankind. So you deserve to be protected. How you gonna know where you going if you don't know you? But see, you let society want to convince you to think like a man, only to end up with the same wounds that a man has. I know I'm talking to somebody. Why you think you're going through all the pain you're going through? Because you think that you can be a man. Well, guess what? There is no manual. There is no guidance to inherit the right to be called Mister, except for one. That's that doctrine. That's God's will. But if you can't take bended knee for yourself, how you going to take bended knee for the things that matter? I know I'm talking to someone. Maybe that's the reason why you got that little drawer over there. Your attitude's all jacked up. How's it your how is the fact that your attitude's so jacked up, but you spend so much time in that drawer playing Five Fingers of Death? How's that? You know why? Because you're thinking that that's going to quench what you need inside. What you need inside is for you to love yourself. That's why you convince yourself to say, well, you know what? I can have sex and not have love. Let me tell you something. That's like cooking a steak without the flavor. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? You're not supposed to do that. But I also know that deep down inside, you are waiting for the one. You may have seen illustrations of that in the company that you keep. That's why I keep trying to tell you, Queens, it's not your place to go seek a man out. Your responsibility is to be the best you, prepare, because he's going to be your yang or your yoke. I know I'm talking to somebody. Look, you don't get no props for being able to be the best, be the badass. Miss, I don't take no ish. And now let's call a spade a spade. Now that we have flooded our environment with guns all over, now you guys are packing heat. Hmm? Let me throw this out there. Look, you don't see the devil in that. Hmm? That's just nothing but a expedient way to get you to him, because he wants you to destroy this beautiful mind. He wants you to continue to defile that temple known as your body. He wants to keep the damage on you. That's why people know it as a soul tie. How about a soul contract? Because that ain't nothing but a generational curse. You may say, well, Gerald, all I know is bad news. All I know is a dark cloud. Maybe just by chance, someone in your family tree did not repent and you are feeling the effects of that. That's why you hear this: the sins of the father is the lessons of the child. Mm, yeah, that's the devil at work. That's what the devil do. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, I didn't throw the kitchen sink at you. I got something. I'll make your kids suffer. How about that? To see how strong you are now. Hmm. So let's go back to that word called manifestation. Because I know that some of y'all are just seeking. You're looking everywhere but the wrong place. And where you should look is inside you. That's why some of y'all can't even look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Because you feel that you don't deserve to be loved. But you don't see the commonality with the company you keep. They can't love you because you don't love you. And they clearly will use you up. Hmm. How about them STDs, Queen? I'm saying this because I love you. I'm tired of seeing you internalize this pain. HIV are going through the roof. HPV. Why do you think they got HPV? Because they want to go after your kids. Hepatitis A and C. Why is that? That's dealing with the blood. But see, I understand because who is the blood? God. You can't live life without blood. But if you don't love yourself, you ain't living either. But see, society says, well, that's okay. Don't respect yourself. Get your respect by what you can possess in your hand, even though you can't take it with you when you take your last breath. Why? Because it means nothing. It means nothing. Your greatest commodity is you. It's your story. But if you don't take responsibility to grab that pen, your life is the canvas. The illustration is your legacy. You weren't birthed in this planet to be Sally, the Miss Loose Booty, Sarah that got the 10 kids and don't know what to do. Why do you think they made the nursery rhyme Mother Hubbard? Because Mother Hubbard was a single mom. Do you not see the commonality in that? She lived in a shoe, but she had no foundation because she was planted there. But I'm not going to give up on you. I can't give up on you. I know that's going to somebody. Chain of Fools. You know what Chain of Fools is about? Soul ties. Because the commonality, the chain is a spiritual chain. The intertwining of two spirits becoming one. I know I'm talking to somebody. If you're tired of crying, see, look, let's break this down. When you make a conscious decision to take accountability, take stock where you once were, look at where you've been, what you've been through. Now look at where you are now. Now, if there's no love there, if there's no peace of mind there, what's keeping you there? Hmm? Because there's a lot of people doing emotional slavery because of the materialism that is spawned in that. But see, but we all know that is nothing but social imprisonment too, because that's why you have so many people thinking that being a choosy lover or the kept woman. Listen, why do you want to be a kept woman when you're not honored? That's nothing but the consolation prize. This goes for you too, King. You worry about what she says and how she sees you, then it's your responsibility to change the picture. How about remove yourself from the environment? But see, I understand that too because see, we celebrate narcissism and Stockholm syndrome, and we base that on how much we can endure. Like it's like, well, if it don't kill me, make me strong. But if you don't learn from it, what does it serve? Hmm? We can break this pattern. And let's go back to that song Aretha just had in the background, Chain of Fools. That also is ever present now because we have people that are enslaved by social standards that we know as addictions through retail shopping. You instead of dealing with the pain and the distractions, you spend your hard-earned money as a band-aid to make it go away. Or they may do that for you, like, well, I know I don't see your worth, but I'm gonna throw you this trinket over here to shut you up. First of all, you are not someone's prostitute. You are someone's prize. Do I have to repeat myself again? You are not someone's prostitute. You are someone's prize. But see, if you don't see your worth, and I'm not saying take a position of conceit, because taking a position of conceit means you're confused. That's what delusion is all about. That's where denial does its best work, which really ain't nothing but a demon. That's what them demons do. Because, see, they got to set you up for the clip. Oh, yeah. hmm You see it play out all the time. You might know somebody, all they did was get away with murder, as long as you know. And from the outside, they spend so much effort trying to paint a picture that everything's all right. And then all of a sudden, low and below, they fall. Maybe that was a spiritual domino effect to set them up to the flat, to set them up to that platform of their descent. But see, I understand because most people that feel that way don't know God, don't want to know God, and they put all their efforts on what they have tangible today, and then they get mad why they can't grow. You're spending too much time giving life to your persona, not your real personality. That's why you're having conversations in your mind. You're like, well, I don't normally act this way. Why you got to say that when you should be yourself? Don't you understand? The moment that you decide to claim your life and be yourself, will your environment change too? Because guess what? When you decide to be yourself, the people that can't accept you, they have no choice but to be divided from you. Some of the people that are next to you are waiting for your descent, but they won't have the courage to tell you that because that's what opportunists do. Opportunists latch on to you from the beginning because they already see your uniqueness. They see how valuable you are, but they know that you don't know it. So they keep gaslighting. They keep being, they play mind games with your money, with your time, with your efforts. Instead of allowing that flower, which is you, to grow and smell the fragrance we know is you, your essence, your uniqueness, they want to keep tilling at the root so you can't stand up. Who am I talking to? I know some of y'all just ready to fly, aren't you? You're saying, if I could just make it through this day, Gerald, I'm okay. One day at a time. Nah, have the courage to look inside you and say enough is enough. Make a conscious decision to look at every broken thing about you and work on it. Take the stopwatch out of your life. You know what that stopwatch does? It gives opportunity for the people that don't want to see you grow access to what you're doing. That's what it does. But deep down inside, they don't give a damn about you. You're just a means to an end. That's why when you feel like you're being left holding the bag, two things happen out of that. That just validates the character of the person you shouldn't have been around, but it also gives you clarity of where you need to go. Now tell me you don't deserve to be free. That's what freedom's all about. Mind, body, and spirit. But I can't do your work. I can't. My queens, my little queens, if you under the age of 35, let me tell you something. You will not know who you really are until you hit 35. The mindset that you have when you're 16 ain't the same that you have when you're 22. And the mindset you have 22 should not match the mindset when you were 18 or you're 28. It is progressional. So if you're putting more investment on your assets, let me tell you something. Looks fade, but characters don't. I know some of y'all saying, well, Gerald, I hear what you say this all the time. I just want to I just want a man that will love me for me. You don't want just a man. You don't. I don't care if he a millionaire. If he don't have a relationship with God, he's spiritually broke anyway. And guess what? Everything that he comes in the door with, he gonna lose one by one. You're gonna watch it because it's gonna affect you too. It's going to happen because, see, that's not what you need. That's why those wounds won't go away. That's why them nightmares keep coming up that you may have had 20 years ago. Why? Because you're not being honest to yourself. So does it surprise you that you're walking around pissed off, you're angry? If you're angry at the fact that you see people happy, how about you see people exhibiting intimacy? I'm talking like conversations, holding hands, you know, what men do, real men. A real man is a spiritual man. Let's come on now. Come on. But I get it. Because a lot of y'all women think that, unfortunately, that as long as you got that money maker, it's gonna keep producing money for you. And well, guess what? That's what Johns do too. See, Johns don't invest in tomorrow. They live for today. And if you happen to be the on the menu of today, well, guess what? They're only going to compensate you for your services and your goods. Uh, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? When you need to have those conversations that make your heart sing, you don't have nothing to do with you. But yet, when you need some validation, she don't have nothing to do with you until she do this. You better see your worth, see your dignity, but you can also smile through that because that all that does is validate that those people never deserve to hear your story nor hear you breathe. And God's got something better. But God is not going to give you what your blessing is for to watch you squander it. Because see, guess what? In the cut, there's the devil. Like, go ahead, give it to him, give it to him. And like a thief of the night, he's gonna come and he's gonna throw an audible. I know. I'm talking to you, queens. You saying, "Yep," he talking about you. It was just the other day. I was by myself, and then that man walked into my life, blew my mind. Unfortunately, he blew my back and he broke my heart. Why? Because that was the work of the devil. That's what manifestation does. You might not have thought about it, but in your heart, you spoke it into existence. You said, "I wish I had a man." And guess what? Voila, one man come up. That's what the devil do. So it's time for you to purge. But you got to have courage to do that. It's time for you to get back to that little girl with them beautiful eyes, endless dreams and possibilities. Hmm. It's time for you to fall back in love with her. Because guess what? People will be there. They'll be there. Just make sure that they earn the right to hear you breathe. I know you can do it. But guess what? I ain't gonna tell you what you don't need. You can just find that here. You can walk outside your door. Hell, go to Walmart. You'll see plenty of examples of what you shouldn't do. And a lot of them do it because of one thing. They're looking for validation at all costs. That's why you see them on 25. Queens. You know I love you, right? Kings, I stand by you. It's time for you to do the work. I really believe this summer is going to be pivotal for a lot of people. I think this is a long time coming for a lot of you. And if this is also a consolation price too, when you decide to invest back in you, guess what's going to happen? You'll get your money right. You'll plug the holes. How about learning to say no? I hope you guys have a blessed week. Ground your feet and always place God first in all that you do because you deserve to be at peace. Do not allow what society is promoting. You got to understand, y'all. They put that out there to condition the way you see the world. That's why they do it. They want to sway your opinion, your perception. That's why it's not good to judge. Let the facts stand on their own merit. If anything, you want to know the truth, it's time for you to have that conversation with God and ask God to reveal it. And He will. You know why? It's because He created you. And He won't give you nothing that you can't deal with. Maybe this is the weekend one of y'all is going to. I got a feeling somebody's going to say goodbye for the last time. Good. They've been holding you back. It's time to turn the page in that story called you. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Look at y'all. There's no peace of mind doing this. Getting high. How about playing musical chairs with your DNA? If they ain't worth the wait, they ain't worth the conversation. And if you look a little deeper, it's because they don't have a relationship with themselves. See your worth, claim your life back. Be blessed.